Good morning, everyone. Guess what? It's day 9. Yeah, it's Monday here, and it's day 9 of our Amish Friendship Bread starter. Let's take a quick peek. I have not looked yet this morning, so, yep, we do it together. Oh my. It should be the same, really, and it kind of sort of is. Look at that beautiful golden color. I appreciate all of you who have joined me in this Amish Friendship Bread starter and all the little videos that I put out, just kind of scattered about. Now this is day 9. Tomorrow, of course, is day 10. So tomorrow I'm going to bake. Good morning. Hi, I'm Darlene, and this is Super at 60. I am so excited you're here in my kitchen today. We're gonna have so much fun, and I'll tell you why. We are finally at the end of our 10-day cycle of the Amish Friendship Bread. I've had so much fun doing that this time, and I've had a really good time coming in every once in a while and showing you through video. Here's what happens on day 3, day 4, day 5, day 1, day 2, and so on. Anyway, at the beginning of this video, you will see exactly what I did on day 9, and then I'll take it away from there on this video today. So join me in the kitchen. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Here is our Amish Friendship starter. Here's our batter. It's beautiful and liquidy and just perfect, and oh, it smells so good. It is ready to be baked. Early this morning, I went ahead and gave it a good stir, and then I fed it 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of milk. All right, I gave it a really good stir, and it is ready to bake. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take care of my baking needs first this morning, and I'm gonna dip out 1 cup of my starter. Okay, 1 full cup, let it drip, drip, drip. And then quick and over into your bowl, okay? Have a bowl all nice, ready to go, and it should be a bowl that will be big enough to handle the entire recipe for today, okay? Now, what's left over in the bowl, you can do several things with, of course. You can share it, and that's why they call it the Amish Friendship Bread. You can put it in plastic baggies, put the recipe either on the bag itself, or you can just put it in the baggie and then write out a pretty card. Maybe you have some pretty recipe cards hanging around that you haven't used in a while, or even an index card, just a lined index card would be pretty too. Just make sure you put your name on it so that they can have that. And go ahead and put the starter recipe on there too, with the, remember when we started it with the yeast and the water and all that stuff. Okay, so this is all taken care of, and this is all that I'm gonna need today. As far as the rest of the batter, here's what you wanna do. Here's my baggie. I have it all filled out already. I put on AFB, Amish Friendship Bread. I put the month and the year. That's all you need to do. If you want to keep some of these yourself, and I strongly suggest that, if you love the breads, you'll want to be baking them quite often, go ahead and scoop out another cup and put it into your plastic bag. And you know what? Zip it right back up and stick it in your freezer. That way you'll always have some on the ready. You can either take this out of the freezer in a week or 2 or a month or 3 months and go ahead and make your bread out of that 1 cup if you just want to use the 2 loaves, or go ahead and start it. Day 1, add your 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of flour, and 1 cup of sugar, and you're ready to go. If you want to give some of these away today, I suggest you use the gallon-sized plastic bags. And just do as I said, you know, just title it however you wish, put the recipe on, or use the card like I suggested. And you can just put that aside, and your bowl will be done and should be all nice and clean from batter. Just stick it in your sink or in your dishwasher and you're done. Okay, you're all done. But I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with this yet. So I'm gonna go ahead. One thing I do know what I'm gonna do is just stick it to the side. Because I don't know what I want to do with it. I'm kind of excited about it. So I'll stick it right over there. All right, let's get on with what we're going to do today. Today, I'm going to make 2 things out of this 1 batter, okay? I am going to make the traditional Amish cinnamon friendship bread, with a little bit of a twist, just a tiny bit. Of course, it's me, it's what I do. I can't just stick to the recipe. And then with the rest of the batter, which would be used to make a second loaf, I'm gonna make a little something else. So here we go, let's put this guy together. All right, we're gonna add our wet ingredients first into the batter. I'm gonna call this the batter bowl since our batter is already in there. So let's go ahead and add in 3 eggs, excuse me. You know, every time I crack an egg, put it into a baking product, I always think, wow, how blessed are those people who have their own little chickens, you know, and they just go out to the chicken house and collect their chickens for the morning. I mean, my brother used to have that, and when I would go visit him on the weekends or something to be with my mom and him, I used to go out and collect all the eggs, and I had so much fun doing that. All right, and now we need a cup of oil. I'm gonna use my batter cup over here. I'm gonna keep this handy too. Now this isn't enough, so I need to open up a second container of it. So I will go ahead and do that. I can't wait to show you what I'm gonna do with some of this batter. I mean, it's not earth-shattering, but I think that you will enjoy it, and it might be something that you might want to try. That's what I'm hoping most of all. All right, you are trash, my friend. Recycle. All right, let's see, we need a ½ teaspoon of vanilla. Where's my vanilla? Here it is. Okay, here we go. We're gonna struggle with the vanilla again. Oh, not too bad this time. And how much vanilla? Just a ½ teaspoon. So that is just a tiny, tiny splash, just like that. Oh, I know, I could have measured it. And you will measure it, I'm sure. All right, that was a ½ teaspoon of vanilla, and now a ½ cup of milk. And that's all our wet ingredients. All right, and in it goes. I'm gonna use my whisk. I would still try to continue with using non-metal things right now, especially when you're working with fermented things. That's the issue, is that fermentation and the metal. I'm not sure they go too well together. This is not the best whisk in the world. It's a little flimsy, so I'll use it right now, but as soon as I add in my dry ingredients, I will switch over. I just want to make sure those eggs are well incorporated into the batter. Feels like they are. All right, so let's switch that back here. I'm gonna just pour out just a little tiny extra bowl that you probably have hanging around. And here now we're gonna add all our dry ingredients. Flour, sugar, baking soda, all that kind of good stuff. So now I need a ½ teaspoon of salt. ½ teaspoon of salt. Here. And make sure your salt is level with your spoon, because you don't want to over salt. And I would use that pretty much throughout all your baking and your cooking. All right, and 2 cups of flour. I have a ½ cup measure, so I'll use 2 of these. I always tell you that because I don't want you to freak out. Wait a minute. All right, that's 1 cup. 1½ Oh, gotta fill the flour bin back up again. Boy, I do that a lot. Do you guys feel like you do that a lot with your flour? Good heavens. All right, so we've got our flour in here. We need 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. Okay. So here is 1. 1½ All right, just like that. And I know we're going to need baking soda in here too, so let's go ahead and put that in. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Put that in as well. So we have our salt in here, we have our flour in here, we have our powder and our soda, And now we need a cup of sugar. Half. 1. And now we're gonna need, I forgot to get the package of vanilla pudding. Gotta have this. This is just like magic in this bread. Gotta have it. You just gotta have it. And there's so many pudding flavors out there. It's really kind of exciting to see what kind of breads you can make. You know, change it up with chocolate, change it up with pistachio. I think there's a French vanilla out there as well. Oh, I think that would be so good. In fact, I think I used that one time and it was. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, now before we do anything else, and boy, am I making a mess here today, but that's okay. That's okay. My husband cleans up. That's why I'm so happy to make a mess. Yep. Honey, you cook, I'll clean. It's been our deal for 33 years. Yeah, he doesn't like to cook too much. And I don't like to clean very much. No, I don't like cleaning up after my mess in the kitchen, but hey, he does it. He does it happily. All right, we're not really sifting this, but we're just kind of making sure that everything is pretty much well incorporated in there into that flour. So there's no, big clump of baking powder or baking soda or anything like that. And you want to make sure that pudding mix is mixed up in there really nice too. Hey, if you want to sift this, that'd be just fine. All right, so now we're going to take this and we're going to put it into our wet mixture, okay? Just put a little bit in at a time. Of course, when you're in your own kitchen and you're not filming, this will go a whole lot faster because you don't have to stop and start or all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, and now the rest of it is going in. If you find your batter to be a little thick, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't, I can't quite figure that out. Sometimes maybe your eggs are a little larger than other times, and that does make a difference. So I'm feeling that my batter is a little bit thick right now for a bread, so I'm just gonna keep my milk out and handy. That's not even a 1/4 cup. Just enough to wet the batter just a little bit more. And sometimes if you're not careful with your measuring, you might add in by mistake a little bit extra flour than you should have. Those things just happen to us all in the kitchen every day. So it's good to have in the back of your baking brain some ideas real quick to use to kind of fix up what might have happened. Okay, I want to prepare my pan. This is the bread pan that I'm going to use, and I'm only using one bread pan today. And you'll find out why in just a little bit. Go ahead and spray it. Spray those corners really well. Spray the bottom really well. All right, very nice. And now what we're gonna do is what I did here in this little measuring cup. I added about 2 heaping teaspoons of white sugar and about a 1/4 teaspoon or a little less maybe of cinnamon. All right, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it on the bottom, just like that. Up the sides. You don't have to use all of it, but as much as you need. And just stir it around just like this. Just like you would if you had cake pans and you were putting a little extra flour in the sides. This time we're using sugar and cinnamon. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Number 1, yeah, it's gonna help you get it out. And number 2, it's adding such an incredible, intense, yummy flavor and a little bit of, I don't know, like a crunchy, when you bite into the bread, you'll get a little bit of a crispy, crunchy outer shell, really, of the bread. And it's, believe me, it is really worth doing. All right, at this point, you'll want to divide your dough as evenly as you can, because if you don't do what I'm doing right now, and you just make up your 2 loaves of cinnamon bread. And yes, I know I left cinnamon out, and that's for a purpose, and you're gonna see why in just a moment. You can go ahead, just go ahead and split it up the best you can. Right now, I need half of a half, okay? And I'm gonna show you, move this guy back just a little bit, excuse me. You see that better? Oh, that's much better. All right, here we go. We're gonna pour as much as we need here on the bottom. Not too much, just a little bit. That's about half of a half. Okay, just like that. Just spread it around the corners as evenly as you possibly can. Okay. Add a little bit more because I think it'll work. Yeah, that's perfect. See that? Okay, so you've put a little bit of batter in, about a half of a half. I hope you're following me. It's really so easy. In this little cup right here, I went ahead and added about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and another 1/4 teaspoon or so, as much as you like. If you really like cinnamon, go ahead and add a whole bunch of it. Let me give it a quick stir, because this is going to be your filling. Yep, we're going to fill it. Instead of sprinkling it all on top or putting it in the batter, we're actually going to sprinkle it in the middle of our bread. So when you cut into it, you should have, a nice streak in the middle of brown sugar and cinnamon. Oh my goodness, what could be better? But we also have another surprise to put in here. Chocolate chips. Yeah, I'm putting them in. I'm doing it. I know. Hey, you're going this far, you might as well go all the way. And if you have some pecans or walnuts hanging around, you can chop them up real nice and fine and put them in the middle too. Okay, so now I'm going to use the second half of the half, and I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that right over the top. All right, and I think that was really just about half of my batter in total. All right, spread it around, but try not to disturb the bottom as much as you possibly can. Just mix it up nice. Just cover it up like a little blanket. Get in the corners. Now I'm looking at my dough bowl right now, my batter bowl, excuse me. I keep calling it a dough bowl. I'm gonna add a little bit more because I think it's possible. I think we can use it. And for this particular recipe, the second one I'm gonna make, it doesn't really matter what's left over. Whatever you have is fine. Okay. Beautiful. Just beautiful. This is going to be so, so nice. All right, just as nice and even as you can. Trying desperately right now not to disturb the pretty little filling that you just put in. Leave out those chips if you would rather. It's just all whatever you like. Hey, if you want to add chocolate chips and a few little scattered raisins in there, that's fine too. That's what's so fun about this bread. You can just do whatever you like. And now we're going to finish it off with a little bit more of this brown sugar cinnamon deal here. All right, just a little bit. You don't need a whole bunch. All right, our Amish Friendship Bread cinnamon is just done now and ready to go into the oven. On to recipe number 2 with the same batter. We are ready to continue with the rest of the batter. Remember, this entire batter came from 1 cup of our original Amish Friendship Bread starter. So yeah, making 2 loaves. You're making 2 good-sized loaves when you do this, or 1 loaf and some mini muffins. Yes, sir. All right, now remember, we did not put cinnamon directly into our batter. Now I'm going to add a little cinnamon, just about a quarter of a teaspoon, a level 1/4 of a teaspoon. Golly, if you can add maybe a half of that. We're going to be using cinnamon a little bit more when they come out of the oven. I can't wait to show you that. We're transforming the Amish Friendship Bread starter bread today. Transforming it, yep. We're going to take our dough, just take a little mini ice cream scooper, and very gently, that's probably too much, just fill them just barely to the top. My pans are going into a 325-degree oven. Okay, I'm going to put my bread on the top rack, which is, you want to make sure you've lowered it, and then leave enough space between that rack that you put your bread on and the rack that you're going to put your muffins on. We filled the whole tray, yeah. The muffins are obviously gonna come out first, so keep an eye on them. I'm gonna set my timer on my oven for 8 minutes, okay? And at that point, I'm gonna come and check on my muffins. I know my bread's not done, but I will check on my muffins, and if they're done, I'll take them out. After that, I'm going to put my timer on about 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, I'll come back and check my bread and see what happens. It would probably need just a tad bit more, but I'd rather be on the safe side than have it all burned up. You know, big old mess. You don't want to do that. We put too much time and energy into this. So do as I say. Yeah, I think I've said that before. Yeah, I have 2 sons. Yeah, I said that before. Well, the muffins have come out. They did take 12 minutes at 325, almost exactly 12 minutes. Some of them were smaller than others, so I had to wait just a little bit longer for these to be done, but it was just a matter of minutes. While the smaller ones are still just fine. They're not burnt, nothing. They're absolutely delicious. All right, so now let me show you what I'm gonna do to further that cinnamon taste in the Amish Friendship Bread mini muffins. All right, take your little mini muffin, nice and cooled down. I used 3/4 of a stick of butter and I melted it down in the microwave. And right here I have about 1/4 cup of white sugar and about a little less than a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you like it a little bit more cinnamony, then go ahead and put that in as well, okay? All right, let's take our little tiny one first. You're gonna dip just the top of them in, not the whole thing. Just the top, round and around you go. Let the butter drip for just a second. And then into the sugar, just like this, round and round, just the top. Look how precious that is. Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna put it right on our sweet little tray here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish all these up. All right, everything is done and out of the oven, and if you could only smell my kitchen today, it smells so incredible. Like an Amish bake shop. All right, look at these sweet little, I call them donuts. Amish Friendship Bread donuts dipped in melted butter and then again in cinnamon sugar. They are so adorable, so beautiful. Oh, and they taste like a dream. You have got to try these. This is the star of the day. Look at that gorgeous Amish bread. Look how it just got nice and high. The sides are so beautiful, and look at the top of it. It's really just beautiful. It's exactly the way it should come out. Okay, and now we're gonna cut into it, and I'm gonna show you what the inside looks like. Oh, listen to that. Oh boy. All right, are you ready? Look at that. Look at that beautiful. Look, okay, they look just like they're smiling. Look at this guy. He's got eyes and a big smile. Absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's good. That's really, really good. That is so good. We're kind of dissecting our little piece of bread here. That's the top you're looking at. Look at that sugar sprinkle on top, all around the edges. Look at the sugar sprinkle from what we put in the pan. And actually, it did come out of the pan just beautifully. I mean, absolutely perfectly. All the way around, you'll see that. And there, our little smiler, isn't he cute? He just looks like he's smiling right at us, and I'm smiling right back, buddy. Okay, so we're gonna take a bite of this guy. Just a wee little bite here. Ooh. Wow, that's a pretty big bite. I better narrow that down a bit. Okay. Big bite. Oh boy. Oh, Don't you want that other little bite right there? Go ahead. Bite right in. Oh, you know what? I can't even begin to tell you how incredibly moist and delicious this bread is. I am just pleading with you. Make this bread. Go ahead, do the whole starter, go through the whole process. It's fun. You can, if you have children, have them help you along. The little donut, this thing is so precious. Yep, this took about 12 minutes in that mini muffin pan. And this guy, the big loaf, he actually took almost an hour at 325 on the middle rack. Yeah, he took just about an hour to bake, just maybe 55 minutes. So watch them very carefully in your oven, just very carefully. But do make sure you put it on 325 because I think that's part of what keeps it moist and not drying out on you. So yeah, Amish Friendship Bread, it's a beautiful thing. Well, come back and join me soon because we're going to continue on with our Amish bread friendship recipe. We may not make an Amish bread every single time. We may make it into something else. Who knows? Well, I know because I have a lot of recipes. And if you have some special recipes for the Amish Friendship Bread, list them down below in the comments because I'd love to know. And I'll make sure if I bake it, I'll make sure to give you all the credit. So thank you again for watching. I'm Darlene. This is Super at 60. And Lord bless you. And I'll see you soon. Bye now. All right, here's just a quick tip. You'll see that I was able to bag up 4 little bags that I'm going to stick in my freezer. Again, with the date and AFB, Amish Friendship Bread. These do not freeze solid like an ice cube. These are a little malleable even when they're frozen, but when you do want to use one and you take it out, remember this is enough for 2 loaves of bread right in here, or you can go ahead, fill your bowl back up again and start your 10-day cycle for the starter. But what I like to do, I just wanted to give you a quick tip here. If you're going to take this out of the freezer, let it sit on the counter for an hour or so till it's like it is right now when you pack it. Take one of the corners, okay, squish it back, squeeze it back as far as you can. Get all that goodness out of there. Just squeeze it back like that. Take your scissors and cut about that far, okay? Just like that. Sorry, I'm all over the place. All right, and then pick your bag up carefully and squeeze it just like that so that it comes right out of here into your bowl. That way you can just keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing till it all comes out this little end here, okay? It's a very, very easy way to do it. Otherwise, you're opening up your bag and this gets all icky and sticky, and here you don't have to touch anything. You just have to peel it back with your hands as far as it will go with the batter, and then cut just a little hole right there, and out it comes. Okay? All right.